So the replay system is finally here, and I personally didn't get early access, but Tokibbi did, and she was kind enough to actually share some of the footage that she recorded during her session. So huge shout out to Toki. I'm going to put the pinned comment down below. She's literally a lifesaver, or else this video would not exist. It's that simple. Now, if we go to the replay options, it's the first thing I wanted to overview because it shows the different UIs you can enable or disable, but furthermore, you can see exactly what's possible. All the keybinds are available here, but some of the best settings are actually over on the left-hand side. So here you can enable where it shows lines for kills and deaths on the match timeline, shows icons for ultimate uses, and other various things, which will actually allow us to skip to exactly when we get kills or we die in Valorant, which is going to make highlighting way easier. This for sure is a huge W. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though. I have to criticize Riot because they did finally release the replay system, but to some extent, I gotta say it's a little bit half-baked here. But before getting into the limitations and being a negative Nancy, let me explain how to access. You go to your match history, you can click any of your previous games, you click the little play button, it's gonna open up the match replay, so it is very easily accessible. And then once you load in, there's a few things you can do. So first of all, the replay system as is, in the most basic form, allows you to scrub through a timeline. It looks nice and clean. It's not overly difficult. You can just go mess around, see what's happening in the match with not much. You can skip 5 seconds ahead if you just want to move a little bit quickly, or you can just quite on the dot click the timeline. You can also go as fast as 8 times speed or as slow as 0.1 speed. You can go ahead and get some nice slow motion shots. There is no audio once you slow it down, of course. We can also see once we enabled all the options I mentioned at the start, Toki can now actually skip to exactly when she gets kills, which is of course really helpful. I think that's one of the best things. I think that's where people were really going to enjoy the replay system. It's going to make it easier to highlight your stuff. And of course, just messing, getting smooth slow motions and stuff like that. All this is very, very positive. So I led with it saying it's a bit half-baked, but that's less about actually being in the replay system and more of its limitations outside the replay system. Let me explain. All we can do is hope that it won't take long for them to expand, because right now you can only watch replays that are your own, so it has to be in the match history, you're in your own match history. So I can't have my viewers send me a replay for me to watch, which is a huge L. That alone, the fact we can't share replays is a massive L. It's going to hurt content, it's going to hurt the usability of the replay system, and it's going to make the replay system very competitive focused first, which is okay as long as it doesn't take long to expand. If this is all we have for years, I will be heartbroken. I'm not going to lie. So right now it's only your own replays. It is in competitive, Swift, and unrated, but it's not in customs, which again, it's just Riot didn't care for the content part at all, which to some of you guys, the customs is more me. That's for me to complain. I won't go too in depth because not a lot of you guys will care, but to me, it's really impactful that there's no customs. It's gonna hurt doing a lot of content, and we've been dying for new content, and it felt like it just face planted in this case. So yeah, not sharing replays and none in customs for now is okay if it's not too long. If it's in the horizon of this year, then it's okay. If it's not, what can I say? Just not that great. Now, with all that being said, you're gonna realize that the matches are actually just 2v2s. They were a very small party that got to mess around with the replay system, so it was hard to get a lot of footage going on here, but it does definitely show us what's possible or not possible with the replay system, and I don't think it's a bad start. That's the thing. Again, I don't want to be overly negative, but I just think the two biggest things I was excited about was sharing codes and the customs, so I think that's why I'm a little bummed out. That's why I'm being a little negative. For a lot of you, it might not matter at all, which is totally fine. Of course, there are countless positives as well, so let's shift a little bit. 1, the easier highlighting. 2, learning. Knowing where you died, why you died, watching back your own gameplay, some of the best ways to improve in Valorant. Most of us, unless you're a creator, you're not just hitting record every time. So just being able to go back and watch. I know most of you, okay? I know most of you are going to get MVP, drop 30 kills, go to the replay, highlight it all, and put it on YouTube or something. That's fine as well, but clearly going back to the ones where you're 5 and 30 instead and watching where you made mistakes, you can genuinely use this as a tool to improve, without a doubt. It's also going to improve the coaching scene. Coaches being able to it kind of improves it. It's supposed to improve the coaching scene, but we can't share our freaking replay, so never mind. That doesn't work unless someone literally logs into your account, which is against TOS. See what I mean? That's the thing. Okay, I'm trying to be positive. Never mind. It's fine. Coaching's not super improved, except if you record your own gameplay, but that's not ideal since a coach should be able to come out, watch retakes, etc. But educational content should improve. So if someone watches their own gameplay and wants to show you how a good retake and a bad retake is, they can actually go top down, show you ranked examples, especially in the high elo. You know, Immortal Radiance will be able to go back to their own gameplay and teach us stuff. So educational content will improve. Cinematic content will improve. You know, if I'm doing my ranked highlights or a challenge, etc., that you guys have watched on this very channel, I can go back and do a lot more. So 100%, there's a ton of positives. I am excited, and it's supposed to come out September 16th. So I need to make it clear. I am excited. You know, you can get some crazy, you know, like Opium Omen has to work really hard to make his videos, and he's still gonna have to work really hard. But man, this guy's gonna explode with some of the stuff he can do, and I'm excited to watch it. You know what I mean? So overall, I am excited. Just can't help but be disappointed with some stuff. You know what I mean? Also, something else that's really cool is when you swap between players, it actually changes the kill markers. So like you'll see the kill, death, and ultimate markers per player, which I do appreciate. It's not just your own kills. So at least everyone in the lobby is accessible. So kind of when you're in the game, you do have everyone's replay from the ground up because you can see their kills, ultimates, whatever. You can switch POV. So if you believe someone was like smurfing or way better than you, you can also learn from them by watching. Now, I didn't read them out, but if we circle back to the keybinds, it's actually very similar to how custom observers work. So if you are familiar with how to observe in customs, it's the same idea. Space is to play pause, which is new, of course, the playback. Left is to skip back 5 seconds. Right is to skip forward 5 seconds. Replay functions. T to toggle the replay UI so you can make more cinematic shots. N is to show the combat report, so that is available. You can toggle the player loadouts. So, you know, again, it depends if you're gonna be technical or not. You can re-enable or kind of disable your cursor. You can show the game menu. Obviously, you can toggle camera mode, which allows you to fly around. That's the free cam. You can right and left click to observe previous and next players. One says observe player 1. They don't list it, but that means 1 to 0. So you can observe player 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by using your keyboards at the top, the numbers at the top. You can fly up with E or fly down with Q, but you can also just hold W as you're flying and just control it like a plane with your mouse because, again, the free cam is going to work like it does in observers. Either way, the replay system isn't overly complicated nor overly equipped. It is finally out, and they finally put it all to rest, all the memes, everything, and it's definitely better to have features than to not have features. Hopefully, I think I might have complained too much, but they're also just my honest thoughts and my honest reactions and my honest opinions, and I guess I'm curious to know what the community thinks. I'm curious to know what you guys think, because this sort of dropped out of nowhere. Obviously, I didn't know about, like, I wasn't invited to the early access, and then I didn't see like many, like there wasn't, like, we knew it was coming out, but they didn't like hype it up, right? Like we've had trailers for skin lines, but we haven't had trailers for this. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting. It's very interesting. It's also coming out September 16th, so it's kind of right around the corner. So basically in 2 weeks, we'll have our hands on the replay system, and then we're going to immediately see what's possible and not content-wise as everyone sort of starts making stuff. It's a good start. It is a really, really good start. I think I'm just... I guess because it took so long to get the replay system, I'm worried about the timeline after the replay system. Like, is this just, okay, this is enough, we can take a break now? Or is it, this is the start, we're finally making it, sorry it took us too long, and let's start expanding it? You know what I mean? I'm like cautious. I don't mean to be, but I'm kind of cautious. But again, let me know what you think down below.